This morning I got up like I always do, came upstairs, and I had seen a thumbnail from Erin Busbee about something that she wanted to talk about. It was something, I think when I saw it the first time it was titled different, because the first time I was thinking it was just something about more like, and it was about fashion, but I didn't think it was anything like this. And then this morning I ended up watching it and it just got me. I just wanted to reach out through the computer and give her a hug. And I realized that if she feels this way, so many of you probably feel that way too. And it's all about body image, especially us women that are either approaching menopause or in the thick of menopause, or like me, I have been through menopause. I mean, I'm sure I still have, I think some of the symptoms go on for what, 5 to 7 years. Yeah, I haven't had a period for 1,226 days. So I feel like I'm pretty much through it, but I do feel like, you know, you still have some symptoms, and let's face it, you're never the same. You're never the same as you were before you went through menopause, because everything's just different. I wrote down some things to talk about, and then Will had an early meeting at school this morning and I had to wait for him, and I took some notes on my phone because I just felt so strongly about it. Let's see, it's going to be kind of all over the place because it's just my thoughts at random. I'm scared if I try to really organize this, I will chicken out, because I'm going to say some things that, you know, might not be what everyone would say, but it's just how I feel. And I think if I'm going to be your friend, then I need to talk to you like I would a friend. I feel thankful for the things that I do love. And this comes when she said that she would look in the mirror. And this is what really got me. When she said that she could not look in the mirror and look in her own eyes and tell herself that she loves herself. That is heartbreaking, heartbreaking. And the thought that so many of you feel this way. This business that we're in, it's not really competitive, because you guys can watch me, Erin, and you know, all these other people, but it's easy to compare yourself to others. And when you are doing this for a living, like she is especially, she's very business oriented. She's got a team. She's got people depending on her channel. I don't have any of that. I've got me and John, my kids, you know, that's my team. So I can see how the stress is on her. And that's kind of how I felt when I didn't feel good. I felt like, here I am, I've got to put myself out here, you know, 3 times a week, and I don't feel good. I don't feel like doing it because of the way I felt. Now, it also was, of course, it was the way I looked, but the most alarming thing to me is the way I felt. Just craziness. And I'll link my crazy menopause symptoms video, because I mean, I was having like, just couldn't balance. I mean, just some weird things going on. And like I've always said, if you do not feel good and something is bothering you, you have to just weed out all the emotions and the craziness and figure out exactly what it is that is bothering you. And then the next thing you ask yourself is there anything I can do about it? Some things may bother you and there is not a single thing that you can do about it. Then you just close that book and you think of the things that you do like about yourself. When I look in the mirror, I could pick myself apart from head to toe. But I don't know, there's just something that I don't know if I have trained myself to be this way, or if it's because I just grew up differently. I was told as a child, there's always going to be somebody prettier, richer, skinnier. And like I tell everybody, pretty girls are a dime a dozen. You cannot base your whole happiness and your confidence on your looks or your figure. For example, my legs. And I will say, I had good legs when I was young, and I sported them every time I could. I wore short shorts. I knew that was one of my biggest compliments, is I had good legs. So at this point, I've still got good legs to be 52 years old, but of course my skin is not like it used to be. So when I look at my legs and I see imperfections, you know what I think? I'm so thankful that I have these legs. I'm so thankful that I did have that good time in my life with good legs. Same thing with my hands. Now my hands are older, they're skinny, they're bony, but you know what? When I was young, I had beautiful hands, because that was when everybody else had like chubbier young hands, and I had long, thin fingers and long fingernails, and I had beautiful hands. Well, that's probably what has contributed to my older looking hands now, because they're skinny and they're skinnier. But when I look at them, I think, oh my gosh, think of what I've done with these hands. I have had a beautiful life with these hands. I have held my babies. I have done so many beautiful things with these hands, and I am thankful that I don't have arthritis. I'm thankful that, you know, I just think of all the things that I'm thankful for, and I try not to get caught up in the fact that I have older looking hands. We get insulted basically daily on our hands. Like, okay, my skin. There is not probably a week that goes by that someone doesn't say something to me about sun damage, about something about my skin. But you know what? If I had to do it all over again, if I was 15 right now and could see in the future, I would do it the same way. I enjoyed every single minute on that beach. I enjoyed every day on that boat. I had a wonderful time. And if this is the price that I have to pay, I'm fine with it. I just do not get caught up on that. There's nothing I can do about it. I enjoyed the heck out of my youth, the heck out of my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now 50s. I enjoy being in the sun. There is nothing that makes me happier than feeling the warmth of the sun on my body. And it's my decision. So I don't let that bother me. I look at my body from, this is what's going to be really triggering to a lot of people. And I feel like you have to be a really, I don't know, feminine woman, or you have to have some type of a like mindset that I do. I don't think about what is attractive to another woman. I just don't. In my mind, I think about what is attractive to a man, not just John. I've always felt that way. Even before YouTube, I can remember going on I think it was, I don't know if it was Men's Health or mensomething.com, but I loved to see who they would rank as like the top 100 most beautiful women, and like the different things that they would say. I've always appreciated a man's point of view. I think it's probably because too, I've been brought up with very manly, masculine men and very feminine women, that there is just such a distinct difference with me. And I've just never wanted to please other women. I've always thought about, what do men find attractive? They are not as brutal as we are on ourselves or to other women. Men do not expect you, and most of them do not want you to have ripped abs and just be stick skinny. They're not like women are judging other women. I try to think of my whole aura, my whole look. When someone else looks at you, they're not picking you apart like you do when you look in the mirror. That's why I feel like I am qualified to talk to you guys about some of these things, because I've walked the walk, and I know, I have been there. I have looked in the mirror and felt like a Teletubby. Even at this point, I'll think to myself, you know, why do I still have all of this? It's just how my body is shaped now. I used to be so thin, but those two beautiful children that I have are so worth it. I do not think any man is looking at me and thinking, I wonder why she has those love handles. Maybe a woman would think that, but I'm not trying to look attractive to other women. I'm not necessarily trying to look attractive to any particular man. It's just that that is the kind of beauty that I want, is the kind that is attractive to a man. But I think that's the softest. I'll never forget one time we stopped and talked to some friends of ours. It was a couple, and he was joking about getting a minivan. This is when our kids were really young. And he said, yeah, that's what women will do to you. He said, they're soft and they smell good. Then the next thing you know, you're buying a minivan. And that stuck with me because I loved that he described women that way. Soft and they smell good. Just something that's just like a baby, something that's snuggly and soft. I don't think men are worried about our abs. I don't think that they're worried about, that little bit right there. I don't think they're worried about that. I don't think that they're worried about me having some speckly, and I actually, right here, I have stretch marks where my boobs got so big when I was pregnant, they just about exploded. And then they shrunk down to like empty balloons. I look like an orangutan. So I do have stretch marks right here too. So if you are feeling that way, I want you to know no one is perfect. And hurt people. I used to hate that because I was like, I've been hurt before and I never felt like hurting someone else. But I think in my deepest hurt, my deepest heartbreak, I was raised by two parents. They were 19 and 21 when they had me. I do not know where they got their parenting skills. I thank God for every day, and I will start crying, that they're my parents, because I have never felt so bad about myself that I would have these feelings towards someone else, or my brain just doesn't even go there. It just really doesn't. And I hope that with all of my little talks to you guys, that I can share my parents with you. When I look at my body, I know that I'm 52 years old, and I keep a realistic expectation of my body. I am not expecting to have a tight fit little butt ever again, ever. And so I don't, for one thing, I just don't look at it that much. You know what I mean? I don't, even at the pool, I don't feel bad about myself, but I'm not going to strut around all over everywhere with my butt hanging out. I'll usually wrap something around me or something, because I do feel pretty good about my arms. I like my upper body better. In my youth, I would have walked. I mean, back in those days, I'm not kidding you guys. You would pump your gas with a bikini on, barefoot. You would go in McDonald's with a bikini on, barefoot. It was just the way it was. It was a much, much smaller beach town. Everybody was just all over mowing the grass in their bikini. Now that I'm 52, I know that I'm not going to look perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I know that no one's body is perfect. I feel good. I feel healthy. That is what got me down. When I did not feel good and I did not feel healthy, that is what made me really depressed. It just made me feel like I just couldn't imagine getting worse and worse and worse the rest of the days of my life. And so that's what made me really feel bad. And then the weight and the swelling and everything on top of that was a symptom of what was wrong with me. So all of it together bothered me, but it was just mainly the way I felt. Okay, I do the things I can. If I do feel inferior to someone, I think of all that I have and all that I am thankful for. This is within every area of my life. I think, gosh, they may be doing better on YouTube, or they may be skinnier, or they may be this or that. They may be richer, they may be prettier, they may be anything, but I get to be me. I get to live this fabulous life that I have with this with this amazing husband, these two beautiful, amazing children. My parents are still alive. I have a wonderful brother and his family. I mean, I get to be me, and that is a wonderful thing. So I never feel inferior or jealous or envious of someone else. The furthest it will go is if someone has something that I would like to have, I figure out, do I really want it? Is there a way I can get it? And then I start working on it. And that's what keeps me going. So that's all that I have written down. Let me see what I wrote down in my notes in my phone. But that's basically, you know, the point I want to get across is you're not alone. Everyone feels this way. I just don't dwell on it. I don't dwell on menopause. I don't dwell on anything negative in my life. And if you'll notice my videos, I want to talk about issues that are bothering you and bother me, but I don't want to commiserate, and I don't want to make my channel about, I hate to say negative things, because menopause is a natural thing, and I am so thankful to be a woman. I don't care. I love it. My mom said that my grandmother used to say, any healthy cat is a beautiful cat. And I think I've talked about this before, about you may like Siamese cats, you may like orange tabbies, you may like Maine Coons, you may like calicos. That doesn't mean that they're not all equally beautiful. Or flowers. You know, hydrangeas are beautiful, roses are beautiful. We're all beautiful and we're all different. And we have to just do the best that we can with what we have and accept it. I have to accept I'm not going to be tall as so-and-so. I'm not going to have a little tiny waist. And just do the best we can with our bodies and be healthy. Be healthy. And that gives me a different type of feeling. I feel healthy, so I feel more beautiful. Okay, I said don't think about each thing. Think about your whole aura. Smiling and joyful. Have you noticed how beautiful that is? When any woman, any size, when a person is joyful and smiling, they are beautiful. They radiate beauty. That's what we are as women. We just have this beauty within us that just, if you will let it, radiates out. And it's like Erin, I was sitting there looking at her and she was just so beautiful, and she was crying, and it just broke my heart. I was like, one, I thought I just wanted to hug her, and two, I was like, thank God that I just don't feel that way. And so that's what made me want to share, you know, my tips with you. And then I wrote neck. I actually went and had a consultation. It was when I lived here, I guess probably about 6 months ago, at the plastic surgeon about my neck, because it doesn't bother me that much, but I know it's aging. And I've heard so many people say, you've got to get on it. You've got to get on it, right? It's, you know, early 50s. So that's what I was thinking. He came in the room and just looked at me and said, you are nowhere near ready. I wasn't disappointed. I was like, okay, now I know. I didn't go to another person. I didn't worry about it. I just thought to myself, now I know. I'll wait. And if it does get worse, I'll ask again and I'll do something about it. But I'm not going to dwell on it. Like I always say, I'm 52 years old. And when I say that, I'm not trying to say I look good for 52. I'm just trying to say I'm realistic. I know these things are going to happen and I'm okay with it. Legs, hands, etc. I've enjoyed them when they were good. I accept aging. I do love myself despite my flaws, but because I feel good. I have fun changing my look, because no doubt someone will say, if you love yourself and you feel good, then why are you trying to lift your eyes? Or why are you trying to do this? I have fun just altering my look sometimes. I don't mind not having any eye makeup on. I don't hate my eyes. I just have fun with makeup. That's part of being a woman to me, and it's part of being creative. So if there is something that you don't like about yourself and you can do something about it and it's worth it and the consequences aren't bad, I recommend doing it. I think, you know, if you can make yourself feel good, I just don't see anything wrong with that. There are many things that are just not worth it to me, and I just don't feel like they're a big deal. And a good man, good character is going to understand when we go through menopause, this happens. We're not the only ones. Their bodies aren't the same either. I'll just leave it at that. I hope that this can help you. And if I could say anything, like when I get nervous about going anywhere and about, you know, is someone going to be looking at this or that? Are they going to be picking me apart? I try to focus on being joyful and being a joyful woman with just brightness and love radiating, because I think when it comes right down to it, I think that's what everyone finds attractive, when you are just radiating joy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that I did not go on too long, too far, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.